So yeah, everybody's getting in trouble because these goddamn groups. Look at the amount of old people that got in trouble this year. Old people get in trouble. Right? That older woman there that makes the cookies on the Food Network. Right? Yeah, Paula Deen. She got in trouble because she had the slavery-themed wedding or whatever the hell she did. You know? In defense of her, you know, you want to have an original wedding. There's not a lot of themes left, you know? You got to use the old imagination if you're going to try to blow people away with your creativity, right? I'm actually going to have a Holocaust-themed pool party later on this summer. I am. Und everyone gets in the pool, yeah? It was weird. It was like it was offensive, but like refreshing. You know, I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, she got in trouble. The old redneck on Duck Dynasty, that dude got in trouble. The owner of the Clippers got in trouble. And I'm not saying what these people did wasn't offensive. I'm not saying that shit. What pissed me off was at no point during all of these stories did anybody address their age. You know? They're fucking old. You know? What did you think they thought? You never talked to a grandparent and asked the wrong question and all of a sudden it went down this crazy road like, whoa. Let's get back to the cookies, Grandma. Let's leave that shit over here. What the fuck? Yeah, they're old. What did you think they thought? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you too. People were too hard on that Clippers guy, man. I'm telling you. For an 80-year-old white guy, that wasn't that bad. All right? Dude, he didn't drop the N-word once. That's unbelievable for an 80-year-old white guy. The N-word should have been carpet bombed through that whole tape. He never said it once. And if you go back and listen to that tape, I'm telling you, go back and listen to it. Other than Instagram, he's pretty fucking liberal. He's like, you can hang out with them, you can have sex with them, just don't promote it on Instagram. It was the weirdest, most compartmentalized, like, racism I ever heard in my life. Something about Instagram, I didn't get it. Other than that, he was wide open. You can make a snowman with them, go to a water park, rub your bellies together. Just don't promote it on Instagram. Hey, what about Facebook? I don't give a fuck about Facebook. Keep it off of Instagram. Dude, you understand? The guy's 80 years old. Do the math. This dude was born in 1934. That's 13 years before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. First 12 and a half years of this guy's life, he watched all-white baseball, and it was fine. First 12 and a half years. Up next, Whitey Willoughby. There's a line shot out to Peter Peckerwood. What a catch! Unbelievable into Chris Cracker. What a great day. What a great day for a ball game. White baseball, white players. Dude, his parents were part of the generation that finished off the genocide of the Native Americans. All right? That's who taught him his ABCs. You know? A, B, C, D, E. Hey, get that savage off my property! Get out of here! I thought we killed all your people! Put a fence around them! H-I-J-K. Yeah. What'd you think was gonna happen? You know what? The owner of the Clippers, you know what his big crime was? He lived too long. He did. If he died around 1969, 1970, nobody would have noticed. Dude, look at Walt Disney. Walt Disney was a known anti-Semite. But he died in the early 70s. Nobody gives a shit. Look at him. He's got a castle, a bunch of mice running around. Nobody cares. This guy kept living. I'm telling you, you can live too long. You can live too long. I'm telling you. You wear out your welcome. I swear to God, this fucking guy, I bet in the 1940s he was considered like a hippie. You know? Just walking around, hey, you can hang out with them. You can have sex with them, man, you know? His dad's getting all pissed off. Let me tell you something. See? You stay with your own. Hey, stay with your own. That's true, though. Life can pass you by. It happens. You know, you just keep living and living and living. You know what it is? I think you got like 25, 30 years to absorb as much as you can. And then that's it. That's all you know. Because right around then, you get married and it's over. Right? You have a couple of kids. You're sucked in the bubble. You don't have time to pay attention to what's going on in the world. You're just stuck with these kids. It's shitting all over the place. Don't be a serial killer. Don't touch that. You're just stuck in that. You have 3, 4 kids. That is a 25-year sentence. Trying to get them all through college. The society just keeps fucking going. You get the last one through college. You step back out of the bubble. You don't know what happened. You're not even paying attention. You go back to your old record collection. Right? Someone sticks a mic in your face, you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah. It's one of the sad things about life. You get old and it passes you by. I feel it passing me by. I'm 46 years old. I don't even have kids, but I can't keep up anymore. Like I had a college gig coming up and I was like, man, I gotta figure out what these kids are into, man. I was 24 when a senior was born. I gotta figure out what these dudes are into. So I guess they were into this DJ music or some shit. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch some of this, you know? So I have like a reference or two. I don't want to be that old comic coming to the gig being like, what's up with this Monica Lewinsky? Is this crazy? I mean, this Y2K, is my stylist gonna work? I don't know. So I put this shit on. Dude, I lasted 90 seconds. 90 seconds. I was open-minded. All right, put it on. 90 seconds later, I'm like this old man. This isn't music. Now, when I was a kid, you dressed like a woman and you sung about the devil. Now that was music. Human beings have empathy. Some woman will fall in love. Well, he's nice. He wears a sweater. He likes to bake. You know. He lets me finish my stories. Which is all great qualities. Okay? But you gotta know, when you shack up with a guy like that, you're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice that fucking axe murderer is gonna pick the next house over. Because God forbid he picks your goddamn house. This is the dude who has your back, who's gonna be screaming louder and higher than you when this guy comes through the fucking door. And you're gonna turn around and all you're gonna see is his cowardly feet going out the kitchen window. I don't know, man, that's risky. You know, reality, I'm being too hard on that guy, you know? Yeah, I am. Because I was just as scared as he was. Except I didn't scream out like he did. And that's simple. The simple reason was this dude, he was hugged too much as a child. Having people go, how was your day? What's wrong? And all of that shit, you know? That's why I came down here, man, I'm telling you. I came out here to tell you guys, you gotta stop hugging your children. You know? You are ruining this country. Now, you can hug your daughters. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. Hug those hooker shoes right out of them. Let them know that you're a good man and to find another man like you. You gotta do that. But your son, you can hug him a little bit, but every 3, 4, you gotta fucking knock him down, right? Come on, it didn't hurt. Get up. Look, I didn't come from a family. I don't know about you guys. I didn't come from a touchy-feely. Call me when you get there. None of that shit. First time my mom hugged me, I think it was like once when I was little, and then when I moved out. That was it. And we only hugged because we knew we were supposed to. So we just tried to it was like 2 parking meters came to life. Like, we almost bumped heads. It was horrific. Fucking horrific. You know, to this day, sometimes I drive down the street and I think about that hug, and it's just it's so awful, I have to shout the memory out of my head. I'll just be driving down the street, just be like, ah! Ah! Anybody else like that? You ever have to shout stuff out of your head? There's something about me, all my regret comes up when I'm in the shower. I don't know what it is. I think because I'm in the shower and I have time to think, and I'll just think of shit I did in 3rd grade. Where I just made an ass of myself, and I just will be in the shower just being like, ah, ah. And my wife's always just like, is everything okay in there? And I'll just be like, yeah, just accidentally turn on the hot water. Turn it on too much. Every day? So, yeah. I actually asked my mother one time when I finally got out in the world and I saw how other families interacted. I finally asked her one day, I was like, how come we never did the hugging thing? You know what I mean? How come we didn't do that stuff? She's like, well, I wanted to hug you kids when you were little, but I was afraid it was going to make you gay. And I was like, you were afraid? You were afraid? And then she goes, well, it was your father. That's what it was. Protecting him like I always do. He was afraid. He said, you don't know how to raise boys. And if you hug them, that's what's going to happen. So in a marriage, there's compromises. So. Yeah. So she basically never hugged us because my dad said if she did, it was going to make us gay. And I got to tell you, that was a great thing that my dad did for me. Let me finish before you start blogging, okay? And I end up on a split screen on Good Morning Atlanta, you know? Comedy, can it go too far? Last night at the Tabernacle. Sitting there next to some fucking Cheeto-eating blogger. So, yeah, this is the deal. I'm going to defend my dad here because this is basically what happens when you have a kid. As far as I know, I don't have any kids, but as far as I would think, if you have a fucking kid, what do you want to do? You want to improve on your childhood, okay? You want to keep the shit that your parents did that worked, and then you want to get rid of the stuff that didn't work. So that was my dad, as fucked up as that was his improvement on his childhood that he never talks about, the way a veteran doesn't talk about going to war, you know? So I figure if that was his improvement on his childhood just must have been something like, don't change his shitty diaper. Let him figure it out for himself. Get out in the rain, you shitty baby. Hey, let me handle this, lady. Why are you still standing here, you shit toddler? So, he took it from that and knocked it down to, don't hug him, it's gonna make him gay, right? And then maybe someday I have a kid, I'll whittle it down to like, hey, he's not taking drama class, all right? He's not taking drama class because I said so, lady! Let me handle it! I won't fix everything. Yeah, and that's not a homophobic thing either, that I wouldn't send my hypothetical son to drama class, okay? It isn't. I'd let my hypothetical daughter take a drama class, okay? My son can't fucking do any of that shit unless I'm sending him to one of those fame high schools, you know, where everybody's doing it. One of those creative schools. You go to the cafeteria, everybody's like, cottage cheese, what is it made of? Right? Like, then he can do all he wants. Then he can do all the fuck he wants. But there's no way I'm letting him do that at a public school with those goddamn animals. He's gonna get the shit kicked out of him. He's gonna come home with his underwear up his ass, and then I have to be the adult and go down to the principal and be like, oh, there's some sort of tomfoolery going on around here. I don't want to do that. I want to find the fucking 8-year-old. What is he, this tall? I want to find the kid that did it to my kid, tip him upside down into some sand or a puddle, anywhere where oxygen is going to be an issue, right? And just leave him there. Right? And you wait till that one leg just starts shaking so you know he's down to his last breath. And then you turn him upside down, you're upside right, and you grab him by his throat, and you just say something horrific. You ever do that again, I'm going to beat your mother to death with the family dog. Right? Over. So, yeah, a lot in my life has changed since I last came through here to Atlanta. Yeah, I got married. That's the big thing. Yes, I did. Very happy about that. I'm very happy with that because it was starting to get weird, you know? It's like 45 years old. Oh, my girlfriend. Yeah, we're going to go out and get some pop, you know? Going to parties. It was just weird because I hang out with people my age, you know, and they all got married. They all had kids. And I just couldn't contribute when people were standing around talking about marriages and kids, you know? I felt like a little kid. They're sitting there going like, oh, the superintendent of the mayoral candidate will be bi-coastal, bipartisan with the Middle Eastern crisis. And just...
Yeah. No, it's a very, I don't know. Times are changing, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Michelle Obama's doing an arena tour. That's another thing going on. I'm going to say that again. Michelle Obama is doing an arena tour. She's not playing comedy clubs. She's doing arenas. When did first ladies start acting like they got elected? You know? Dude, being a first lady, that's not a fucking job. Just standing there smiling and waving. Right? Look how quiet it is in here. Why is it so fucking quiet? You think that's a job? It's not a fucking job. Dude, if you really think it's a job, just look at her. Right? Look at Obama. When that guy got elected, he looked like he was about 41 years old. When he left office, that guy looked like he was about 73. Right? Look at Michelle. She looks younger now than she did when that dude got elected. What has she done for the last 8 years? Yeah, other than laying a giant vat of Illuminati-level lotion, just sitting there floating. A couple hours, a shapeshifter comes in and dumps another bucket on her. She pops her head up. Hey, Bam Bam, tell Stevie Wonder to come down and play some songs tonight. Now, I found out she's doing a tour because she's doing a book tour. Yeah, she wrote a book. She wrote a book about not having a job. I gotta read that fucking book. Chapter 1, how to know if a dick tastes presidential. How to weed your way through all that local representative cock and get to the big swinging dick in the room. I'll tell you right now, say what you want about Republican presidents, but they got their first ladies in line. They do. Dude, George W. was president for 8 years. 8 years. I don't even know his wife's name. What was it, Abigail or some shit? Maggie? No clue. Donald Trump's wife stands behind him like a giant meerkat. Like... Bill Clinton was president, his wife never shut up. Ah, I want to do health care. Ah! He fucked around on her so much, he's like, all right, whatever, just do it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna check out that fucking tour. I gotta see what that's all about. You know? Who opens? Who opens on that fucking tour? Was it Oprah Winfrey's husband? You know? Does he fucking come out and talk about what it's like to walk her dogs? Do it for 20 minutes a day. The Cocker Spaniel's probably the most fussiest, and I gotta bring him around. Look, I'm sure that there's some feminists in the crowd right now not appreciating this joke, feeling triggered, feeling like they need to fucking put out a hashtag or some shit and be brave and speak out. You know what? You're full of shit. You are. All those feminists are full of shit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, someday, there's going to be the first woman president. All right? Which means you don't even know what a fucking platform is, and you automatically cheer. It's got the same genitalia. Fucking, I'm telling you, they're not smart people. Feminists, they're not as smart as they're coming off. I'm telling you. Someday, there's going to be. By the way, this is going to be my last show ever. By the time this fucking thing comes out. Someday, there's going to be the first female president, which means there's going to be the first male first lady, right? And you wait, you fucking wait. The first time that dude opens his mouth about some political shit, you watch all these feminists. They're all me, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady. He's gonna get treated like Tom Arnold when he was with Roseanne. Secret Service name will be like Appendix or doesn't matter. Not worthy of protecting. Just entered the Oval Office. Not worthy of protecting. So, where do you go from there? Well, as I mentioned last time I came through town, I wanted to get a gun. Yeah, I do. Yeah. But I finally given up on that. I gave up on that dream. My wife doesn't want me to get one, so. Yeah, she didn't want to. You gotta pick your fucking battles. I'm gonna learn how to fly a helicopter on the sly. I can't fucking have some 357 hanging around. I'm doing whatever I want, all right? When I say go, eat it, right? Can't be that person. No, it bums me out, because all I wanted to do was just I just want to get a 22. That's all I wanted. Perfect gun for home protection. 22 caliber. You laughing at that, sir? That's not enough? I don't know. I'm down south. What do you think? That's not enough, right? You shotgun, right? 44. You guys are out of your minds. You're out of
your fucking mind. Let me ask you, all you gun guys, right, who are gonna make fun if I had a 22? What's with your 22, that little queer gun? Do you keep it between your buttocks? Is that the holster? Is that what you do with your gay little gun? Yeah, you need a big gun. All you fucking guys, let me ask you this, all you guys with your guns. You know, have you ever shot the fucking thing without earplugs? You ever done that? Or you like most people, you take it down to the gun range, you put your earplugs in, put your headset on, take it out of the briefcase. You got your little yellow tinted fucking glasses, right? You look at your spread or whatever, and then you put it back in there, right? You ever shot that thing without fucking earplugs? Because that's what's gonna happen when that intruder comes in. You're not gonna have time to be, hang on a second, let me just put... Yeah, you're not gonna have time. Dude, I shot a 5-shot 38 one time without earplugs. Okay, I was landscaping this guy's yard, right? He comes out at the end of the job, he goes, hey, I got this 5-shot 38. You wanna go down the street? You know, there's a burned out car, maybe we can take a couple shots or whatever, you know? You know what's funny? Every other state is fucking dying laughing at this point in the joke because it's so goddamn ridiculous until I get down to the South. And you guys just sit here staring at me like, all right, so, you know, so what happened? You know, pretty standard. I mean, I thought this was going to be a comedy show. I mean, what you're reading from your journal? I don't understand what the, it's not a real compelling story. I'm mowing a fucking lawn and a stranger comes out with a weapon and says, let's shoot it at a burned out car. Okay? Jesus Christ, can we agree on that? So I'm like, all right, let's do it. Fuck it. So I go down there. Never shot a gun before. I bring the gun up. I pointed at the car. I pulled the trigger. I saw the muzzle flash. I felt the kick. I never heard the gun. I pulled the trigger. All I just heard was, I shot the gun 4 more times. Never heard it. Didn't get louder, didn't get quieter, just kept seeing flashes. Woo! All right? So let's take one of your fucking guns, all right? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, all right, you got that thing sitting on a nightstand, loaded, right? For God's sakes, tell me you have it there. Don't be one of these people that has like the gun here and the bullets there. You got the thing fucking loaded, ready to go. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. This is when the psycho's coming in too, right? That's when they come in. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, they don't come by at like 6:30 at night as you're cutting into a pork chop. Hey, I'm out of my mind. I'm coming back in 20 minutes, so stretch out your hammies because it's gonna get crazy, right? That's not how it works. They wait till you're dead asleep. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, right before REM sleep is kicking in. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, all you gun guys, you got your thing loaded, right? Your piece, right? Right there, loaded for bear. You're lying there, you know, same scenario, right? One leg under the covers, one without, shirt. 4 o'clock in the morning, you just... Meanwhile, some psycho sneaking in through the living room window, right? He brings in a fucking sickle. And he's just listening. Listens all the way down that hall and he just hears... He's trying not to squeak on the floorboards. And you're just fucking lying there, right? All of a sudden, that little dog on the floor is just like... What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What? Huh? Huh? You hear something? What's the matter? What are you barking for? He's shaking. What's the matter? Huh? You hear something? What's... Come on, man. Quit fucking around. I gotta go to work tomorrow. All of a sudden, boom, that door flies open. You just see this shadowy figure. You pick up that gun, blow! Ooh, and you fucking miss. You miss. You can't see, now you can't hear. That's 2 out of 5 senses. What are you gonna taste him as he comes around the bed? You're still gonna be shooting over here. Meanwhile, you see like this strobe light psycho coming around the fucking bed. Takes off your head. If you had the 22, you could still hear. Your ears would be ringing, but you could hear that fucker coming across. And you could shoot at him and he would leave. He would leave. You guys just won't get off the fact that it's a fucking 22. You're like psychotic with this shit. All right. No. I will extend an olive branch to you people. Okay? I get it. It's that a 22 is basically a roided up BB gun. I got it. Okay? I understand that if you actually want to kill somebody, you have to basically have the gun up to somebody's head and be throwing a jab as you pull the trigger. I understand that. Okay? But I maintain, I don't care who the fuck the toughest person is in this house, okay? I could defend my house with a BB gun. I don't give a fuck how tough you are. I don't care. If I started shooting at you with a BB gun, at the very least, you have to go back outside and regroup. That's a fact. No, I learned a long time ago, like, I think it's, whatever you're into, but I don't know. I'm not into that religious stuff where, and this is why I actually walked away from my religion. I had to be honest with myself. One, I didn't like going to church every week, you know? I just didn't. Part of it was I'm lazy. I don't like getting up on Sundays. And the other part was I already heard all the stories, okay? Heard it 3-4 times. The dude hasn't come back yet. You know, we're just sort of mulching over the same shit here. I got it, right? And then the other aspect was, you know, I actually, I had to be honest with myself. I felt my religion made sense and everybody else's sounded stupid. I did. Look, I'm not talking about the basis of every religion. Basis of every religion makes sense. You know, the 10 Commandments, right? Don't kill anybody. Don't touch my wife. That's my bike, right? That all makes sense. Of which I think I've broken just about every commandment except for the 5th one. That's it. I haven't killed anybody yet, all right? But the murderous thoughts that I have sometimes, I think I could do it. Like when someone gets on a plane and they kick off their loafers and they're wearing those gold-toed, like, dress socks. And they cross their feet at the ankles and they just start rubbing their feet together. Like, I see the whole thing. See the whole thing. Wrapping that sock. Right? See the whole thing. So we'll see. Still early on, right? But just the stories of how we got here and where we're going and what happens after we die. Everybody else's religion sounded stupid, you know? Like I live out in Los Angeles, there's a bunch of Scientologists out there. And the first time I heard the story of Scientology, I was like, that is the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life. Yeah. Like, your guy's name is Ron? Ron. And he wasn't alive thousands of years ago, so you can hide a lot of it in the mystery. This guy was alive like 45, 50 years ago. He had a driver's license, social security number. There's like footage of him stubbing his toe. Motherfucker, right? I don't know what happened. He was working at Denny's. He got sick of it. He's like, oh, I'll start a religion. Hey, everybody, there's a spaceship coming back. Everybody's getting sneakers. This is Tom Cruise. We're going to try to make you clear. Right? Now, look, I'm paraphrasing. To be fair to the Scientologists, I am paraphrasing. But that's essentially what they believe in. And I said that is the dumbest shit I ever heard, while simultaneously still kind of believing that a woman who never got fucked had a baby that walked on water, died, and came back 3 days later. So, yeah, that made total sense to me. So it just hit me one day. I was just like, well, why does that make sense and that shit doesn't, you know? They got a spaceship in theirs, you know? Right? We had the space shuttle, you know, there's sneakers. There's a lot of shit I can relate to in this. Why does that sound so dumb to me? I don't know. You know what it is? You know, I think it's because I heard their story when I was an adult. I heard my story when I was like 4 years old, right? When I heard my story, there was still some fat fuck coming down the chimney giving me Christmas toys. If I lost a tooth, there was a fairy. There was an Easter bunny. Why wouldn't there be some bearded baby moonwalking across the lake? Throwing out bottomless buckets of shrimp or whatever he did. Of course that made sense. But what happened was, as I got older, all of that stuff started to fall, right? Like, son, there's no fat fuck. It's your mother and I. Your mom's the tooth fairy. Rabbits don't have eggs. Her tits are fake. The NBA's fixed. Bankers are cunts. Most of your dreams won't come true. Right? And I was just like, wow, this is how the world is. And meanwhile, this shit was just floating, this 800-pound gorilla of this fucking story. And I just had to make a decision. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with this? Am I going to cling to it, be that person, you know? That's very offensive to me and other Christians and become that douche, right? I mean, be like the casual Christian, right? With like, you know, some 1 foot on base and just, I kind of go a couple times a year and like, if my parents come to town, I act like I go all the time. Just let go of the shit, you know? Just let go. Just let go of it like that creepy moment in curling, you know? You know that moment where the shooter, or whatever you call him, is just sliding with that rock, right? Just, let me do this right, just slide. And you think he's along for the ride, the two of them, they're a team, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just goes fucking. And that rock just keeps going, and this dude just stops. That's what I did with my religion. I just let go of it. I didn't read a riot act to anybody. I just let go of it. And on the third day, he rose again in fulfillment of the... I just floated away. So now it's like I'm in this weird place where I'm not in any religion right now. Unrestricted free agent, you know? I'd like to believe in something, so I've been going around asking people what this shit is, and I haven't been able to find anything. I'm trying to be open-minded. I was doing a gig in Helsinki, and over there, they're like Lutheran. And what they believe when you die, you're dead. And that's it. Dead. Like a pigeon, just laying there. Over. Blew my mind. I'm like, really? You're just dead like this? You don't... Like my religion was, you know, you die and then you go up to get judged, right? God pops in the DVD of your life. Like, I don't know about this right here. Mind explaining yourself? This might be the most arrogant thing I say all night, but I actually resent the fact that I'm gonna get judged someday. Like, if that's true, that somebody's gonna judge me, that doesn't even make any sense. It's like, dude, you made me, so this is your fuck up, all right? Let's not try to turn this around on me, you know? Jesus Christ, you give me freedom of choice, you make whores, you have me suck at math, and you don't think this thing's gonna go off the rails? Like, you can't do that. You gotta be nice. You gotta be fucking nice, especially this day and age, man. Everybody getting in trouble. All these goddamn groups out there, bitch moaning and complaining. Anytime anybody says anything, hey, we're part of a group, you gotta apologize. I'm sorry to people who own Sharpies. I didn't mean to say that it's an ugly-ass dog. Nah, right? You know what? Fuck you and your group. What about that? What do you got, like 2 million people in your group? There's 400 million in this country. Nobody gives a shit, right? Who the fuck joins a group? I'm gonna join a group. That's what I'm gonna do today. Go to meetings. Kind of a fucking loser, right? That's the same way I look at people laugh who got upset about, you know, Michael Sam, the gay football player, kissing his boyfriend when he got drafted. Everybody bitch moaning and complaining. It's like, dude, you know what? That's what you get for watching the draft. All right? You know, once again, what kind of a fucking loser just sits there watching round after round? The Jets are up next. I think they need a cornerback. They need to improve the defensive line. Dude, that's like going to a graduation ceremony where you don't know anybody who's graduating. They're just fucking sitting there. They're gonna have the whole list the next day. They'll have everybody who drafted, who, when. Fucking gotta sit there and watch that shit. Those stupid interviews. Hey, you're a member of the Buffalo Bills. How does it feel?
Well, you know, it's a blessing. I want to thank God. I'm going to try to do my best. It's a great organization. And same shit the last 80 guys said. So, yeah.
daddy kissed him. He should have fucking blown him. Yeah, with birthday cake in his mouth and a Santa Claus hat on his head. Just to ruin the entire year. Holding a flag, that fucks up Flag Day. You'll keep thinking about it. Yeah. Fucking stupid ass groups. People apologizing to them like they have some sort of power. Look, if you're being a dick, apologize. But other than that, yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Everybody getting in trouble. Like a bunch of children. I was doing a gig in Dallas and some waitress wrote on a piece of chalkboard. She goes, "We like our beer the way we like our violence. Domestic." Right? Yeah, I gotta tell you something. That's a great fucking joke. There is zero fat on that. You need every word of that joke. You take one word out, it doesn't work. It's a perfect joke. So whatever, nobody gives a shit. One person comes in, they don't like it. They ask the manager to take it down. He's just like, hey, you know, that's our sense of humor here. You know, have a beer, go fuck yourself. That's what we're doing. So she takes a picture of it, she puts it up on Facebook, and all of a sudden people start complaining, and they fired the manager and the waitress because of that. Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, what do they think's gonna happen if somebody reads that joke? Like you're some guy who would never hit a woman, you know? Would never hit a woman. You can't hit women. You can't. You honestly cannot. You ever see how they fall? They fall like toddlers, you know? It's like they never fell in their life. They never put their hands out. It's horrific to watch. You can't hit them, right? So what are you telling me? You're telling me someone who never hit a woman is gonna come walking in, read that joke, you know, just be like, wait a minute. This is the dumbest shit. Dude, they have all kinds of signs out there telling people not to hit women. People still do it. What do you think wife beaters are doing when they drive home? They're like so focused on hitting their wife, they got blinders on, they're not reading anything. They don't see that don't hit your wife. Billboard, they're still gonna do it. Did that get too weird for you guys? Did the church organs make that fucked up like I was up here? Make a pledge for Jesus and hit your women. Ever watch some of those stupid religious shows? That fucking Joel Osteen, you ever see that guy? Dude, that guy is so full of shit, he doesn't even open his eyes when he's talking. He's just like, make a pledge for Jesus. Are they still here? He doesn't even have the nerve to open his eyes. You want some popsicles? Jesus wants you to have some popsicles. He wants you to have those popsicles. Fucking electric blue carpet. So yeah, everybody's getting in trouble because these goddamn groups. Look at the amount of old people that got in trouble this year. Old people get in trouble, right? That older woman there that makes the cookies on the Food Network, right? Yeah, Paula Deen. She got in trouble because she had the slavery-themed wedding or whatever the hell she did. You know. In defense of her, you know, you want to have an original wedding. There's not a lot of themes left, you know? You got to use the old imagination if you're going to try to blow people away with your creativity, right? I'm actually going to have a Holocaust-themed pool party later on this summer. I am. Once everyone gets in the pool, yeah? It was weird. It was like, it was offensive, but like refreshing. You know, I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, she got in trouble. The old redneck on Duck Dynasty, that dude got in trouble. The owner of the Clippers got in trouble. And I'm not saying what these people did wasn't offensive. I'm not saying that shit. What pissed me off was at no point during all of these stories did anybody address their age. You know? They're fucking old. You know, what did you think they thought? You never talked to a grandparent and asked the wrong question and all of a sudden it went down this crazy road like, whoa. Let's get back to the cookies, Grandma. Let's leave that shit over here. What the fuck? Yeah, they're old. What did you think they thought? I mean, and I gotta be honest with you too, people were too hard on that Clippers guy, man. I'm telling you. For an 80-year-old white guy, that wasn't that bad. All right?
I've been battling with my girlfriend a lot lately. She loves to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I love to watch her watch the Oprah Show. And then I wait for Oprah to say something that I don't agree with, and then I take it out on my girlfriend because I'm a jerk. So Oprah brings out her first guest, right? She gives her this huge intro. She's written a book, she's been in a movie, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's a mother. So immediately I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? How many moms died on ice road truckers last season? You know, any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? Now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but which job would you rather have? You want to scoop crabs up off the bottom of the ocean, hanging off some rusty tugboat, catching that trap to the back of your head every couple of weeks? Or you want to hang out in the sunshine with a couple of rugrats? You know, you can send them to bed anytime you want on some trumped up charges. Yeah. Trumped up charges, yeah, because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July is a redhead. You know? I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? Oh, the way they push that stroller with the round wheels. Yeah, and the baby in there. It's the most difficult job on the planet. Going to war pinned down by a sniper. What a joke. It's a joke. You ever burp a baby and forget to put that towel up there? Oh, there's another shirt you gotta wash, right? Oh yeah, lift with your knees and put it in that machine that does it for you. People, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. Sure, it's draining, but come on, man. Being a stay-at-home mom, that's like my dream job. No boss, no time card, no taxes. You're off the grid. Hanging out all day, making grilled cheese sandwiches. Giving a puppet show, you dress like a dragon. Then some other adult comes home and gives you money. Yeah. Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. Well, there's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there at Comic-Con and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right?
Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla, tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your old rollerblades.
I'm becoming a psycho. I've realized that about myself. I am. I watch conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 in the morning on YouTube, you know? Yeah, I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, so I'm becoming totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama is going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win. Because they're in the process of bankrupting this country, and I think that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's why, you know, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that is completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking... Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watched the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die. And I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like, goddamn, look at Doc. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy an apology, you know? God, I'd love to see his iPod. I can't imagine the eclectic mix of music. This is how much time I spend alone on the road, man. I actually spent so much time alone on the road, I actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. Sitting there drinking, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know. Then I started thinking it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work. It comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling from another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you can nurse from it, you can eat it, right? You can tip it over when it's sleeping, but if you fuck it, you're going to jail. All right, I'm thinking about getting a dog, everybody. I am. No, I'm at the point. Nothing alive is dependent on me. I gotta get out of this tailspin, man. So I'm thinking about getting a dog. My girlfriend wants me to like adopt a dog. She's like, you want to adopt a dog? We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah. How do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row. All right. Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate on the off chance that maybe they didn't commit the crime, you know, just roll the dice? Dude, fuck that. I want a brand new 2008 Bulldog, all right? I don't want some like 1995, half a Labrador, it's got part of its ear chewed off, you know? Every time I go to use the toaster, it starts freaking out. You know, because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at me, by the time I processed, like, is that a rat? Is that mechanical? By the time I figured it out, it would have ran up my leg and just taken chunks out of my ear. Then I got to tell that story for the rest of my life, sitting in a bar. Dude, what happened to you? A fucking squirrel, right? Never get laid again. That's what I'm saying, right? I got one of those crazy dogs. Get up at like 3 in the morning to take a leak. Right, I'm shuffling to the bathroom, and that's the exact moment his previous owner used to come home shit-faced and beat the crap out of the dog, right? I got no clue. I'm just, sitting there shuffling to the bathroom. Meanwhile, the dog's getting all amped up, like, fuck this shit, man. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen again, all right? It's time to man up. Ah! It's flying at me. Takes a big chunk out of my neck. Then what? I'm laying on the ground bleeding. What are they going to do with the dog? They're going to take him right back down to the prison like some repeat offender, have like shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, you know? Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with like that lampshade around his neck. I got to work on my temper, though. Something I really got to do. I let like the thoughts just spin away, you know? I was on a plane the other day. I actually had the urge to elbow an old lady in the face. It was like compelling. It was unbelievable. You know, when you go to get off a plane, there's like rules when you go to get off the plane, all right? It goes row by row by row. And this lady was all like, ooh, I'm 90. I get to cut everybody, right? So I'm competitive. I start fucking boxing her out, right? Start bringing down like the overhead luggage, you know? So she just starts like waddling around me. And all of a sudden I just feel my elbow like, dude, you're going to take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of the plane is watching it. Come on, man. Dude, we got a wide open shot. Just real light. Poof, you don't got to hit it that hard. And then you can play it off. I'm literally talking to my elbow like, dude, come on, man. We can't do this shit, all right? This chick's like 95 years old. We can't do it. I thought I had my body under control. And she got like to right about there. And then I felt my foot like, dude, we could still trip her. Still tripper. Just throwing that out.
I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know? More and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up. And he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And he goes, hey, I'm actually thinking it's kind of hey. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up a phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, honestly, she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See that they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400,000 a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned inside. I need your help to get me the job, right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is?
I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going. Like, I don't like those odds. I have a 75% chance of splatting on the ground. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my shit? Awesome. This is gonna be great. No, I'm just kidding. I love women. I'm just not compatible with them. No, they got too much energy for me. You notice I said they always have to be doing something. You know, like they can't like take a day off, you know? You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no. But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy, right? So what do? You agree? Yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $52 for eggs? Now you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, you know, like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. was dating this girl recently. She was like really into like women's issues, you know? Because women always go on TV, you know, they say all they want is to be treated exactly like guys. But if you listen to them, they don't. All they want is the good shit of being a guy. They're cherry picking. They look at a guy's life like it's like a buffet, right? Like you just can start picking out stuff, like same amount an hour, we'll take some of that. Pay for the movie, fuck that. You can keep that one, I don't like that one. This is nice, that's yucky, that's icky. I mean, come on, people, you can't choose. This girl gives me shit. She goes, well, why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job? I go, well, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. That's why I get the $1 more an hour. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out. Like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? You think I want to stay in the vault? Those 20 other sweaty guys sharing a bag of peanuts, you know? Praying to God I'm not the hostage who gets dragged out by the psycho with a gun to my head as he's asking the cops for a helicopter, which I know he's not going to get, right? I know he's not getting the helicopter. So now I gotta make idle conversation with a 38 to my head going, dude, go for a rent-a-car. I think you should go for the rent-a-car. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. No, that's why I hated that movie, the Titanic. Every girl I meet thinks that movie's romantic. It's irritating. I think, that was really romantic, don't you think? It's like, no! It's a fucking horror film. And they're always like, why? I'm like, because all the guys die. See, you're watching it trying to relate, going, who would I be? You'd be that chick floating away in the big piece of luggage, right? I'm watching it going, who would I be? I'd be that dude when, like, the boat breaks in half, that dude who, like, falls straight down and bangs off the shit and goes in the water. That's who I'd be. I'd be wearing a tuxedo, not because I wanted to, but you wanted to dress up that night, right? I'd be falling the whole way down going, I should have fucked that chick in first class. All right, listen, I'm out of time. You guys had a lot of fun. Thank you very much.